Right now, a lot of people playing Tracer, little Genji, a little Reaper, Winston Ball, kind of dive-esque. Backline, Wu Yang, Arnakiri. The team looks pretty set up for that. Let's be real. Like, they've not really made any changes. No changes at all. Lethal, however, more in the hard hit scan. Cassidy, Sojourn. We've seen a fair bit of Cassidy, to be fair. And I think with his perk changes, he did get the silver bullet perk. I don't think it's crazy good, especially against fast comps. You kind of need to fan the hammer. You lose a fair bit of damage there. But the double flashbang against the Tracers, I think they're very well set up. They're probably not going to play Tracer Genji, but lethal on Cassidy, lethal on Sojourn. Yeah, Geekay are going to be up there. They always will be. I mean, they're just so good. You can't really argue with that.
This backline is elite too. You look at Ultraviolet and Admiral that I think are stand out in each of their individual support roles, and now you put them together on the same team, and especially when they've had this entire season to work together, I think they are really, really set up here, and they have so many different heroes that they can play. I'm very curious to see if it is going to be Admiral that decides to take up the Wu Yong, or if it's going to be Ultraviolet that decides to play a little bit more, meticulous with that hero.
Well, I hope we find out today, and that's the direction they are taking it. On the other side, they will be going up against what used to be Supernova, essentially, like the core from Supernova, now turned into Team Z. What is our read on this team without having seen them at all, just based on the players that they're fielding?
Oh, this is so tough to say. I think there were a lot of different changes that this team needed to make once a lot of their players got poached to other teams. The core of the roster still showed us a lot of tenacity, being able to make it through the promotion relegation stage, but I don't know how much time each of these players will have had together when they, lost so many players, and then you also just have you have to slot in Cinnabar, I think, for the first time on this team. It can be tough when you're put under that type of pressure to perform right away.
Yeah, DPS line's pretty, again, kind of equipped for this. I mean, Ryan and Jutsu and Peace, like Genji Tracer, feels pretty good for the meta, honestly. I think Astro might have a little struggle with the Winston and Ball against some of the very elite players that we do have. Very good on the Orisa, was good in the Rush mirrors, but yeah, we'll see how the Wrecking Ball or the Winston face up against Kuffer, because, Kuffer, kind of a dive tank player. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game. You expect Geekay to kind of walk away with this one, with a 3-0, but there could be some upsets, but I think if Geekay don't win 3-0, we'll be a bit disappointed for them.
Yeah, now Team Z definitely the underdog heading into this match. Let's see how confident and how convincing we might see Geekay closing this one out. Jack, Rose, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Yeah, here we go. Geekay and Team Z. First time we're seeing Geekay in this new meta here in stage number 3, Rose. Obviously, the big read here is that it's a lot of Wu Yang and Admiral Ultraviolet. There's a lot of fantasy points on the line. I'm just saying for this one. I think everybody from Geekay has been picked up by our fantasy team. So, yeah, there's a lot of points to be had. Here is the map pool. Geekay picking Lijiang Tower. No big surprise. It was either going to be that or Helios, let's be fair.
For sure, and I think it'll be really telling on this map in particular where the support lineup decides to go. We've seen different teams take different approaches, a lot of them still sticking to the classic Lucio to make sure that they have the speed around control, but if you want to play a bit more greedy, you can actually play something like the Ana and the Wu Yong or the Kiriko and the Wu Yong. But Tracer and Zarya getting banned, okay, I mean, no Tracer is actually probably pretty good here for Geekay, actually.
Yeah, I mean, my man could just play Genji, just play another flex. We've seen a little bit of Venture action as well. Lethal, okay, that's fine with me. Cassidy, Sojourn, like we've seen a little Freya. Not sure we're going to see it in this map specifically. And Zarya's been pretty prolific in EMEA, and of course we saw it yesterday, the Zarya head-to-head, and then the Bastion rolling over the Zarya comp. That was rather funny. I don't know if we'll see Bastion again here today, but I mean, Chronic's playing today, so maybe we will. That's of course a little bit later. But as we load in to the first map, looks like we're going to Command Center first. Team Z versus Geekay, both their first matches running into today here in Stage 3, Day 2, Week 1. Did that out of order, but it's all good. You understand what I meant.
We're just here for some great Overwatch action, no matter what day it is or time it is in the world, and I really hope that Team Z can show us some signs of life in this match. We already discussed that it's going to be hard. They are definitely the underdog team when facing up against Geekay, and this is going to be our first look of both of our teams to see what they want to bring to the table with this brand new Giga patch and stage number 3. We see 2 different looks where Geekay is definitely going more all in. They do have Ultraviolet that's going to be on the Wuyong and Maimon coming out here with the Venture. So that's going to help facilitate this ball dive a lot.
Yeah, that is a little wacky DPS find. I like it though. Honestly, you body shot someone with the Hanzo, you can just run them down with the Venture. Astro first to fall though for Team Z. Ryan did end up using that Wraith Ball to get away, but in hot pursuit was Cutler just rolling straight at it. Pretty easy team kill after this. That's going to be a point for Geekay, and this comp is extremely quick with the Lucia and Wuyang. Good luck actually locking anybody down. There is the cap. And now Lethal can just set up, lob some logs directly at the spawn.
That is definitely the hard thing about this Orisa, is you are just such a giant target with all of this burst damage Geekay has. Now they come back out with the Winston that will help them at least try to get through the door a little bit longer. Those Winston bubbles can give you a bit of that shield. But then what? You're still walking into this Hanzo. And now that you don't have this speed either, you've got to take a reset for your Lucio to come back. I don't know if I like them being stuck in this control room.
Yeah, especially against the Wrecking Ball of the Venture, that's for sure. And then Lethal doing dirty work. Astro switching over to the Winston now. A bit more dive pressure on the front line. Rush on the point for Hanbei. However, there is the Tidal Blast. And, oh my word, yeah. Mine, Tidal Blast. I mean, good deflect kill from Peace, but I think the fight's just about done and dusted, I'm afraid. Only Ryan and Peace left. The DPS trying to fend for themselves, but against cover, it's going to be quite difficult. He's a DPS menace all on his own.
If the Wrecking Ball mines weren't enough, and then you put the Tidal Blast on him as well, there's just so much AoE. Team Z have struggled so far to be able to get in, and now backs truly against the wall. One final attempt for them, as they're going to have to run into this tectonic shock and sound barrier.
Yeah, Blade's going to get used by Peace there, but instantly cleaned up by Maimon. Double sound barrier, both from Cinnabar and Avril. Dragon Strike across the point, splitting the fight. But with Peace dead and Ryan already using that Wraith form, it's going to be tough for him to get in a position where this ult is going to be useful. And Maimon is currently 2v1ing on this high ground. Look at that 2v2 now. I think that was Avril actually up there, just booping people around. A quick last touch here is required by Team Z, but look at those health bars. Everybody's so low. Astro chunked out as Maimon just doesn't cringe in the face of danger, just stands up against the Genji and forces them away. And Peace and Cinnabar are going to have to touch, but they are unable to. Geekay with a good start already, 100-0 on Command Center.
I was half wondering if we could call that a C9, but I don't think so. I don't think that was a winnable fight for Team Z. Everybody was so low. There were still cooldowns available there for GK, and what a commanding start for them. It's only Lethal and Maimon that have died on Team GK, and it makes sense. Your DPS are a little bit squishier than everybody else, but like, wow.
Yeah, it's that was a flattening. All good though. Go next round. I think banning the Tracer here was really nice. Protects Lethal a little bit more, like we said. Gets Team Z off one of their comfort heroes too. Although, to be fair, I think we've seen a lot more Reaper than I initially anticipated. But against some of these harder dive blocks, especially against the Winston, it works out super well. But Wrecking Ball, not as much. You're still a threat, that's for sure. Quick teleport on the high ground. That was close. I mean, Ryan managed to get the TP off, but very rarely do you see a Reaper knocked off the map. But it has happened, especially on this one.
Oh, these bubbles are exploding. As soon as you actually see Astro pop one down, it is instantly deleted. And that was a very fast team fight win after Team Z actually took the positioning on point.
I think we found the culprit of that hot take, Rose. Ultraviolet, I believe, picking up the falling rain perk, the triple orb for a lot more damage.
But it wasn't even just him. There were our other Booyongs yesterday in North America that was taking the Falling Rain versus that Ebb and Flow for the major perk. And you can see why. Look at how much extra damage that you're putting out in terms of being able to burst those Winston bubbles or just being able to burst somebody down with the help of Lethal hitting these headshots. And we're going to see yet another switch. Oh, Peace comes out on the Sombra and quickly, gets eliminated.
There's a little gap there Lethal was firing through. I didn't know that was like a pixel gap you can fire at the spawn doors as the Hanzo. Oh dear. Yeah, there you go. That what he's lining up with right now. I didn't know you could shoot through that. Very, very slight gap.
Even
with this Sombra, it's going to be hard. Yeah, you're not even going to be able to build up too much ult charge either if you're the Sombra. Obviously, you're not getting out of spawn to begin with, but locking anybody down is super tough. Astra now switching over to Wrecking Ball. They need to force something here, so they're going to try and force the positioning of Geekay with the ball going to the point first.
Yeah, but then what? Like the Sombra is here to deal with Kuffa. Kuffa has been such an annoyance, but even if you get Astra over to the point, look at how well Geekay is focusing down that Wrecking Ball. Astra has not been able to have a say in this match so far.
Yeah, and then Hame dies to an arrow. Ryan falls next. Yeah, it's definitely going from bad to worse right now for Team Z, unfortunately. Oh man, he gets booted away from the Mega Health Pack too. Goodbye, Astro. Back to spawn you go. Nice manual hack on Cutler, but it doesn't last too long. Dragon Strike into the spawn. I think that must have been. Mine's on the point, and that's going to be a 200-0 for Geekay. Ain't no shot. I don't think Team Z are going to come back. No, pieces down. Ryan maybe next to touch on the Farah, but not to be, unfortunately. That was as quick as you will get it, folks. Geekay with the win on Lijiang Tower in record time.
Wow. I have no words except for absolute dominance.
Yeah, they didn't
still
die
no
on that
deaths
second round.
at that round. I know. Holy cow. Lethal, Maimon, only two to actually take a death on Control Center, and then the entire team up and kicking. Look at how much damage Ultraviolet did too. You really expect that it's going to be your DPS are going to help there, but Ultraviolet taking that triple orb perk.
Yeah, it was pumping.
Absolutely
big DPS
damage.
Especially if hitting the Winston over and over again, and like you said, every single time Astro was kind of getting in, making space with the bubble. It's like, okay, well, we're just going to shoot with the Hanzo. Storm Arrow, Hanzo, okay, and then Wu Yang with the shot. Like, creating space there is almost impossible, unfortunately. It's a rough one to start off this stage for Team Z. But hey, there's still a few more maps to go. But you're expecting Geekay, like I mentioned in the opener, that they want to get a 3-0 here, and it would be a disappointment if we saw anything else. Well, that was a nice shot, actually, by UV there.
There's something to be said about a team being able to play together for as long as this Geekay squad. There were no changes really made to the squad outside of them losing Zera when they were under the Nightmare banner for stage number 1. Zera got picked up by Team Liquid for stage 2 after his incredible performance at the Champions Clash. And since then, Geekay have stuck together as this core roster, and without making any substitutions or changes, they have just had so many weeks to ramp up and continue to get better and better in terms of their synergy. And that type of commitment has been rewarded for so many of our teams. Team Liquid is another one that really is continuing to climb the North American ranks alongside Geekay, and that's why we look at those two teams, and it's so difficult to break through when you're working and your team coordination is as tight-knit as that.
Yeah, there's only a few spots available at the World Finals, that being for the teams. But there's only a few spots available as well for tickets and yourselves. So make sure you go pick them up right now. Tickets are on sale. You get a 1-3-day pass. You get a VIP and some exclusive merch packages as well. I believe we added more VIP ones because they already sold out. So yeah, make sure you go check that out. Link is on your screen right now. Or if you're an audio listener, don't know, maybe your audio listening or second monitor watching, bit.ly/DH Stockholm 2025, or check out the Overwatch Esports socials. They'll have all the links there for you to pick up your tickets for the end of the year. You don't want to miss it. It was a lot of fun last time. We had an orchestra last time as well, playing some Overwatch music, which was fantastic. But as we get back into this series, Rose, going to a map number 2, Team Z, they can now run Tracer if they really want to. So they could have Ryan popping off on that. But that does mean, obviously, Geekay can kind of whip that one out as well. So where do you expect Team Z to pivot to here?
It's tough to say. Astro has always been very good on these main tanks. If you keep Astro in this lineup, then you kind of expect that we are going to be going to a map that's going to really enable something like that. Atlas has also been one of those maps that teams have favored going into as a second map choice. That's another one where I think if you're really hoping that you can try to get the jump, or maybe you try to throw a wrench in the span, then Atlas can work. Maybe you can sneak something
look at the bands
away.
then. Genji and JQ. We've seen a little bit more JQ, actually. I've been loving the Junker Queen, in all honesty. We saw it a lot on the King's Row series yesterday.
It was awesome. And I think that the Junker Queen is one of those heroes that, especially if you were kind of expecting something like the Orisa, very nice to be able to have that. But now that that's off the table, I wonder if this opens us up a little bit more to have the Zarya back on menu, or maybe we do continue to see that Wrecking Ball. It can still be very powerful on a map like Atlas.
Yeah, it's got to be the Wrecking Ball here again for Geekay. Just has to be. I think it's going to be the same comp throughout. I wouldn't be too surprised if you still... Well, we'll see what Lethal ends up picking, but I wouldn't be so shocked to see Mymone again on the Venture. I think it's not a sleeper pick by any stretch of the imagination, but a pick that works very well in these comps, especially with the ball. The ball slams you and then you burrow under them as well. It's like an instant kill. It's real nice. But Ultraviolet and Admiral, they look very at home on these picks. And you'd expect Ultraviolet too. Like, he's such an incredible flex support. The best in North America, I'd say. And Admiral too has only improved as time has gone on the Lucio. So again, sticking with a very fast comp, Mymone is going to TP people out. Going to the Tracer. All right, another good pick for the lad. But Team Z, they're going to try and match on the ball straight up here, but Peace on the Reaper instead. Lethal, let's see how he does on the Sombra. This has been a little bit of a career special as well, with people like Merit picking up Sombra out of the gates.
But we have seen Lethal take this out as a pocket pick in the past, and we saw Team Z attempt this at the end of Lijiang Tower as a great counter to the ball. If you know that you are an elite Sombra, like we have seen Lethal perform for the past weeks, then you know that you can maybe help out your fellow ball player.
Not if you get two taps.
Those hacks. Well, Sombra is still pretty squishy. Maybe we chalk that one up to bad luck for this first go around.
Yeah, that was nice TV from Peace is what that was. Decent point of presence right now for Team Z, but Peace just walked into the hot zone there as Ultraviolet just shot him down the corridor, and Peace couldn't get anywhere near him, sadly. Point capture here for Geekay, and Ultraviolet 88% towards that title blast already. And Cinnabar 52. Like, that is a gap of enormous proportions.
Cinnabar is also going to switch, goes over to the Lucio, and now that means that Ultraviolet is super free and clear to get this, to really let this Wuyang pop off. We saw Ultraviolet put that title blast on a Kuffa. It just gives you such a big area of effect, and look, are you going to use it now on a Mymone?
Oh, Astro and Peace ended up getting knocked down there, but there was no follow-up to be had. No pulse on for Mymone, so no ability to insta-bin somebody with a pulse on top, which we've seen quite a bit recently. At this point, it's so tough to actually cap because the amount of high ground control here is just immense. You can just sit up on the high ground, wait for them to try and cap, jump on them, and just eat them for breakfast. Good pulse bomb from Mymone, and that'll be the fight done and done. As Ultraviolet looking to maybe lap Cinnabar here in terms of ult charge, even though she did switch.
That's the fight done. That's the flashpoint over as well. Don't think there's any world where Team Z come back in and contest this when Ryan just respawned. So Team Z have no choice except to wait for this next flashpoint to unlock and try to make their way over there. But Geekay are already meeting them in the middle. Look at how fast Geekay is actually making these rotations. Even though Astro has the rollout to try to beat them to this flashpoint, there's not really a lot that's going to be good for them to engage with. But Kappa beats you to the punch. There's the mines.
Lions goes hits with the virus as well. I'm back to the rescue. Managed to hit that Suzu just in time, but Kuffer is giving chase to Cinnabar right now, who's closing in on this sound barrier. Kuffer's just playing his own game. Literal single-player action from Kuffer currently. Lethal does fall after that EMP, and the rush on the point is going to aid in their efforts to try and get this cap, but a sound barrier from Avril does hit 4. Kuffer rolling around still as Peace tries to lock someone down. Now turning his eye towards Avril, gets out of there just in time, but Team Z managed to cap that point eventually.
Kappa tries to roll away, but yeah, good fight win here for Team Z. Only really using those 2 support ultimates, and they still get a chance to hold on to the Death Blossom and the Pulse Bomb. A big whiff and a miss there for the EMP from Lethal. Felt like that ended up getting no value, and then the rest of GK get picked apart. Love Team Z trying to push the pressure.
Yeah, really popular on this map to push out this far. Tidal Blast on Ultraviolet as he chases down Cinnabar. They traded 1 for 1, but they've expended a single ult. As now the point is under a little bit of pressure as Kappa rolls on in. He's got the mines in a couple of seconds as well.
Again, she charged them so fast.
Yeah, he's just doing so much damage right now. Manual hack attempted onto Astro, but it's got the Primal Rage, so if he feels like he's in danger, can pop that and just get out of dodge. Tough goes for the slam on the high ground. Cinnabar trying to protect Ryan currently as the TP comes through from Peace to get into the back line. The Primal Rage from Astro is going to be good for 2. Ryan's going to clean up Admiral for a 3rd, and Team Z are on the board now. A point under their belt as Cover and Mimo, the last players alive, can't get back to the point, and that's 1-1 on Atlas.
Really great stuff from Team Z to be able to string those fights back to back and to tie up this flashpoint. The Sombra fell so flat on that particular round, missing the EMP as well as just being taken out before you can get any of those hacks if I purchase. So Lethal does switch over to the Reaper, and you can see an immediate difference. Hanbei gets caught out, won't be able to have the rush, and this gives Geekay a pretty big opening.
Lethal just reformed towards Beast mid-ult. Took a little bit of damage there, but unfortunately, the Reaper Death Blossoms, they ain't what they used to be. A little bit of damage, but that was about it. Everybody could scoot out of there with the Lucio speed boost as GK capped this 3rd point.
That's the thing, Lethal gets a nice opening pick, is able to kite away from the Death Blossom, and now GK with the first capture. They have this Admiral sound barrier. If Kappa wants to play aggressive here, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, big wave there coming through from Ultraviolet, pushing people back as Astro falls initially. Sound barrier coming in from Team Z, a later one, but they need the kills though. If you're losing a player like that, enemy teamers use their sound barrier, and then you beat in, you need kills instantly, and unfortunately, took a little bit longer than First Class Mail there. It was about a 6 or 7 day postal time. And look, at the end of the day, Geekay now can play up. They got Tidal Blast. They can just send Mimone in or Lethal or Cuffer and just assassinate the backline without these support ults.
Felt like almost a little bit of a miscommunication when Astro was using the Primal Rage. Maybe just that HP pool disappear a little bit too fast for that sound barrier to actually connect. But Geekay are like, we'll use everything now to secure the flashpoint.
Oh, Mimone ends up going down. Lethal couldn't get on top of somebody, even though they have the Tidal Blast attached to him. He's just going to contest the point right now. He has got the Death Blossom, so kind of waiting for people to come to him. Looking back, checking the team, and there is Death Blossom on top of Astro, jumps to the sky, but Copper slams down, and somehow Hanbei dies to a mine that probably should have expired 10 years ago. They do end up trading Cuffer, however, for a support, but Mimo with the Pulse Bomb can quite easily take out Peace, who's lacking health right now, even dodges somehow the miniature health pack, but stays alive. Eventually, Ultraviolet weaves that orb of water around the corner, snipes Peace away. Team Z still in control, but Cuffer is already back in the mix. Same with Astro, though, who's got the Primal Rage and is forced to pop it. And now Hanbei luckily receives that sound barrier just in time before he got rolled by Mimone. This Primal Rage looking not so great right now from Astro. Popped a few people around, but the focus fire from GK was just so good. That 1000 HP just melted like butter.
And it's crazy that we also saw Team Z use both DPS ultimates there and no value. Team Z have control of the flashpoint, but it's not too much longer before GK are able to sneak it back 99%. Nobody else can come in and touch from Team Z unless you really want to Wraith walk your way onto the point into the Wrecking Ball mines again.
Yeah, soundbite from Apple as well is going to connect with 4 players, even on the rush. There's just too many cooldowns to get out of GK right now. And then even Lethal so close to this Death Blossom. A valiant attempt there from Team Z to come back in, using a whole lot in their ult bank to try and get this point. But it's going to be a 2-to-1 affair on Atlas as GK looking to close this map out on the next one.
Cuppa's timing with these Wrecking Ball mines has been so good. You know that these points on a couple of these flash points are a little bit more open. I love that Cuppa has been able to kind of utilize the geometry of each of these points and make sure that those mines are going to play over the entire surface area. And at critical moments where you know that Team Z have to come in and contest, it is overtime in that situation. It's been really amazing. And so once again, GK beat them to the punch. He's gonna try this Sombra again. It did not work out on Lishong, but maybe it really just had enough of this Cup of Wrecking Ball and you can land these manual hacks.
Yeah, there's a lot more space to work with, so can see the attempt here. Attempted manual hack onto Lethal, actually gets onto Cuppa, but Cuppa is going to be able to survive with those Wrecking Ball shields. That Death Blossom from Lethal was enough damage to help kill Cinnabot. And with her going down, I mean, no chance for a sound barrier in this fight, so it's just going to be a quick reset for Team Z. Or a forced one at that. I mean, she can just chase them all the way to the doors.
Yeah, at least from the amount of time that is left in this flashpoint, I think there's enough time for Peace to get an EMP. But like, you're so threatened, and I think he's still gonna die there anyway, especially if there's any follow-up from Maimon. Manages to get out, but now you've stalled out even more time if you're GK. And again, Cuppa has mines. There's gonna be a sound barrier from Admiral as well that will end up being a little bit later if Cinnabar props it first. Final fight, Jaws. This is it.
Yeah, the sound barrier actually launches them in. A stick connects with UV. Quick reset for GK. Yeah, okay, both supports down. A really nice engagement from Team Z as Ryan just does a lot of the heavy lifting there for Team Z and A. They've got Primal Rage, they've got EMP. They're going to rush. Like, they're in good stead for this point. They just cannot let Ultraviolet's Tidal Blast get any value.
That's going to be hard. Cuppa actually now going to switch over to the Winston after using those mines. Double support ultimates here for GK. And you also have the Tidal Blast to put onto either Maimon or Lethal. Whoever you want to kind of send in there and play a bit more aggro.
Wow, connects with 4 there. That was a beautiful stuff from Peace. Okay, that's 1 fight under their belt on this point. Force Ultraviolet to not even be able to use that off. So, all right, they're good for it. Okay, Admiral, the only one not dying there for Geekay.
They do need one more, but it is looking very promising as Team C still have that Primal Rage as well as the Rush. If they continue to play up like this, maybe even Hanbei can let that rush through that main choke, and hopefully Astro can start to follow that up. Ryan was very close to another Pulse Bomb, so there are tools here for Team Z, but now Geekay, they started to make their approach, and how does that happen?
Yeah, Astro just dies mid-air. It doesn't even use the Primal Rage. Sound barrier for Abel. I mean, Death Blossom on top of Hanbei, who used Rush desperately. Like, that just cannot happen. Astro now Primal Raging to the point from the spawn, but, I mean, fight's already done. The map's already over. Astro dying there in the sky. Maybe thought it was protected by the bubble. Has just cost them the map. That is Geekay now just cleaning up. It's all over, Rose. That's a 3-1 on Atlas for Geekay. That puts them at match point in the series too. Couple more cleanup kills. That'll be all she wrote.
Wow, it is very disappointing as a team when it does end that way, but we also kind of expected that GK would be able to win in this type of fashion. But it definitely does feel bad watching that pick come through before that Primal Rage was able to activate.
Yeah, I think Astro thought he was protected by the bubble, which was kind of in the sky at the same time, I think.
Did the bubble get burst, or maybe like your toes were hanging out from the bubble as it deployed?
You're expecting to pop Primal Rage there if you get low, so you can see the idea. Like, Astro's diving into the choke and then, you know, pops bubble, like chills for a bit, gets low, pops primal, and then they can maybe like force something and then rush and then win. But unlucky for Astra actually use the primal from the spawn to even get back to the point on time. There's the stats for you on the screen. My Moan only dying twice, 23 and 2. You're expecting that from a Tracer player, but looking good out there. Geekay, yeah, they're back to their old business. It feels like any meta for them right now is going to be comfortable. There's a lot of swap ups from Lethal, but happy to pilot the Reaper, which has come to the forefront of the meta as we head into a map number 3.
There were some bright moments for Team Z, and I'd love to be able to focus on especially that EMP that we ended up seeing from Peace towards the end of the map that even put Team Z in the position to tie back up Atlas. Really great heads up play from Team C to play a little bit more aggressive. They finally had the space to be able to do that, and I think that is a nice little confidence booster. Of course, the map at the end of it did not go your way, but I really hope that they continue to string together some fight wins like that. Because it wasn't even just that Sombra EMP. There was just also some really great play coming through from that aggressive sound barrier from Cinnabar that also helped to set that up in the fight before. So I want to see more of that from Team Z. They're clearly capable, but there hasn't been too much time for this team to have worked together before we started the stage.
Yeah, you see that Astro, it was like frame perfect there. Like, pressed the bubble as he died. So, man, that is...
It's like the damage got through the bubble before it was fully activated.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's
damn, that's unfortunate for Team Z and Astro there. But, you know, you're against Geekay, so it's definitely a team that, while you want to take down the underdogs coming into the series, next map up, I mean, I'm not sure any kind of ban strategy here is going to work against Geekay, especially if you're even targeting like DPS. But yeah, a nice 3-1 to start off. Geekay had a very, very close, or a very, very fast map, sorry. It wasn't close at all on that map number 1, 200-0. So we'll see where map 3 ends up taking us. Might have been seeing a little bit of Junkertown, Rose. Maybe. I mean, we saw a little bit of an EMEA, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see if we go to a different map that we haven't seen yet.
Well, I don't think we would go to Gibraltar. I don't, even though Team Z does have the ability to play dive, I just don't think that when you're playing dive versus another team that is playing the dive, the skill differential plays such a big factor in whichever team is going to come out on top in that dive mirror. So I don't think going to Gibraltar would be a good idea.
Yeah, go to King's Road.
It is Junkertown.
King's Road, ban Hanzo maybe, because if you don't ban, if you ban the Hanzo, Lethal's going to play
the Reaper anyway. Yeah. I don't know if the Hanzo ban actually works out that way.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a tall order regardless. Let's have a look. The map list. It's going to be Esperanza. All right, okay. Little dive map here. Little dive. You don't ban a tank. I think maybe you ban a support. If I'm honest with you, maybe you ban Wu Yang, actually.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Just get it out of here. Yeah, get Ultraviolet off that pick, man. Guy's looking like a beast out there.
Been farming, my God.
Actual, like, tier 1 waterbender. Looks like it's going to be a Winston ban from Team Z. Okay, so Cuffer is going to be playing at the ball, which will probably lead Team Z to play the Sombra off the rip, I'd imagine. Kiriko ban for Geekay.
Wonder if we'll see Mauga. Some of our teams have looked towards Mauga as a wrecking ball answer. So if you really want to, like, if you have to figure out a way to beat the wrecking ball, and I think if you pick Esperanza, this is one of those maps where there is a bit more open space, there's a bit more high ground. Maybe it will be a little bit easier to try to lock down this wrecking ball, but yeah, maybe Mauga is the answer, as some of our teams have other tried.
Let's have a look. Am I happy to see a Mauga? Well, it's not permanently,
you don't have to answer that.
Look, at the end of the day, if it's not perma Mauga, then I'm fine with it. But
the variety is nice. It's the spice of life, you know?
It's the spice of life. That is true. That is very true. But it is funny. We kind of joked about it in the pre-show. EU kind of always diverts back to, like, you know, checkmate on the sim, like a little bit of Mauga, a little bit more brawly type, and then NA has been more career pilled, where it's like, okay, we're going to go pure dive. I wonder if there is going to be a transition for a couple of teams where they do end up playing more brawl style, like someone like Astro, or even like Hattori, like going to an Orisa instead, if you find that going into a mirror against top teams is just not even worth trying. Looks like they are going to run out with the ball to start off with. Lethal on the Sombra. Okay, I'm going to eat my words. It's actually lethal perma Sombra here. As Team Z is just going to run Genji Tracer. So we saw the Tracer ban, we saw the Genji ban already from the side of Geekay. So now Team Z gets to run even more comfort with Peace on Genji.
The lethal Sombra started to not work out after that second flashpoint round on Atlas, but it was fairly effective on the very first one. And so if you know that this Winston is banned out, maybe you were already thinking heads up about Astro playing this Wrecking Ball, come out here with the Sombra. It's going to be effective not just for the ball, but also for this Genji and Tracer. So very much like a great pick here as you see the hack land onto Astro.
Oh, Astro's super low as well. Team Z should be able to heal him up. They're just going to give chase a lot of the time. As soon as those manual hacks end up connecting, or even a virus too on a squishy, Cup is going to want to slam. You're going to have Maimone following up as well. And this comp is very self-sustaining too. Like, with the Wu Yang, you have the right-click beam heal, of course, so for like emergencies, but you put the little, it's almost like a mini harmony orb, the little like water flowing thing on the ball, on the Tracer, just send them off, do their own thing, and then maybe get AoE healed by Admiral at some point. Whereas Team Z have got very much like a more traditional heavy healing comp with Harmbait on the Ana, which is great if you're hitting these nades, but you've got to be consistent with them, and you can't use them defensively either. You've got to get the backline down. You've got to kill Ultraviolet is what I'm saying.
I mean, Hanbei has already done an amazing job. I think I'm about to eat my words because there is going to be an elimination that comes in the next 5 seconds. But ooh, a Nano Boost on Hanbei.
Oh, good pulse from actually onto Astra. So low. Nano Boost onto Peace, but hasn't really come off with a kill feed at all. Just kind of focusing down the Wrecking Ball. They end up trading their Wrecking Ball players. Peace out of CDs now, has to back all the way up. Tidal Blast sent out by Cinnabar, but Ryan's next to Fall, who I would imagine was the recipient of that. There's an EMP for Lethal. Blade ends up coming through though for Peace, and that EMP absolutely torn apart as Peace gets a double with the Dragon Blade.
There has been some time here for Kappa to come back in with the Wrecking Ball mines. Maybe you're expecting, okay, we'll give them a couple more meters and then we get a chance to go in. Maybe would have liked to see Lethal actually hang on to that EMP, especially that Piece had popped the blade. You would have already got one. But there is a little bit of that delayed reaction, and maybe you were hoping that there would be more people alive. Oh, Piece barely gets away from that though.
No, I can't escape that one, unfortunately. Not a Tracer running after you with a Tidal Blast attached to him. Didn't even need a Pulse Ball on top. An easy kill onto the Ana. That's a very, like, you're looking death at the eyes if you're the Ana or any support player, to be fair. You're like, okay, well, my life is going to get cut short in a moment unless I get help. Unfortunately, help did not arrive in time.
It feels like the old days of playing Zenyatta. You see the Tracer on you and like, well, I'm not going to hit this volley
diving towards you.
It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, well. No, so this is going to be almost checkpoint for Geekay. And I kind of wonder how coordinated this Team Z recontest is going to be. You can see them getting set up for it. They're actually going to try to get the wraparound behind Geekay, but this comp is so mobile. Wow, and that's a nice pick.
Yeah, really nice pick. Oh, Astro's got... Oh, didn't quite cancel the mines there, but it'll do. Ultraviolet. Oh, and Maimone gets whip-shotted around the corner by Cinnabar. That's an incredible couple of kills. It's going to make Cuffer actually use mines there to guarantee the checkpoint. I think that's more than an okay usage, to be fair, but not exactly something they wanted to use in that situation. So good on Cinnabar, at least, for forcing the mines out of Cuffer.
I actually really like that play because having that forward spawn activated can be very important when you're having a lot of these players that are playing kind of by themselves. If Lethal gets killed, then you have that forward spawn. You can come back on a Sombra just a little bit faster. I think it's fine.
Tidal Blast on Harmbait, trying to... Okay. Was thinking like, I could maybe get a knockdown. Yeah, it was for sustain for sure. Oh, what a sleep. Mimo, yeah.
Sick.
See you later, son. Nice little manual hack there onto Astro. Has to get nanoed. Dives forward, but quick as you like. Ultraviolet slides back with that rushing torrent. And now Lethal can try and do his business, but nice instant kill from Astro. Still had that nano kind of popping, so that additional damage really helped him out. And now Ultraviolet's chance to show him how it's done. A beautiful jagged wall that actually saves Hanbei's life. It puts the jagged wall in between Hanbei and the aggressors, and Ultraviolet and Cover cannot secure that kill on the Ana. A pulse bomb for Ryan in his back pocket as they try now back up slightly as they sense the aggression coming through for Cover, but still the roll through onto the Ana gets the kill, and Team Z now losing control of the bot.
Bot's gonna go back towards GK territory. Myron still has this pulse bomb to let loose if this fight gets delayed any longer. But now you see the cleanup come through. But Cinnabar gets a little rewarded. You have your own title blast. Peace is gonna be on the potential receiving end of that with the blade active as well. But Peace almost feels like they're too far forward. As this bot rounds the corner, they are going to try to get set up on that off angle, but Peace is under quite a bit of threat there.
Blades already killed Lethal. Pulse on the backline though for Mimone, just menacingly behind the supports right now. Mines end up connecting with the points. Tidal Blast, however, from Cinnabar sent out. Can hear the hit markers are flying, but where's the knockdowns? Where are the kills? That's kind of the second time in a row there. Cinnabar's used that ult with little to no success in follow-up damage. I saw a Tidal Wave there, or Guardian Wave even, but it's not going to result in too much. Still, Geekay firmly in control, despite the best efforts of the sports from Team Z for landing big anti-nades on the backline.
The anti-nades are good, but when you do have such stellar supports in Admiral and Ultraviolet, you know that's not going to be something that cleans up. Poor Hanbei. I mean, Hanbei and Cinnabar both, I think, if you're going to have this duo hit squad of Mimone and Lethal coming after you, you have to be perfect, and that's just so hard to expect from yourself.
Yeah, it's almost impossible, right? Like, being that perfect when you have very few tools to actually stay alive against that Tidal Blast. I mean, one of the big tools would be any kind of movement ability or a Suzu, and it's actually Hanbei switching over to Moira, Cinnabar to the Lucio, so yeah, they're not going to get dove on as easily, but still it's a tough time when Mimo just runs to the backline with the ult attached and you're dead.
It's the last-ditch effort. Maybe this is the change-up that they need in order to get themselves back into this. But as this ball continues to round the corner, it's a final approach. There's still an EMP here from Lethal. They've been a little bit lackluster so far in the series, but it could be an absolute game-ender if Lethal's able to get this right.
Good EMP, hits two, both DPS. Full prey to the hacks. Ryan doesn't end up going down, but he's good enough for one. And yeah, Hanbei tried to get in there, tried to go for a rescue attempt, maybe throw out an orb, but was just caught off guard. April does end up going down, but Rose, this game is slowly escaping Team Z. Like you said, this final now stretch that Team Z have to fend against is going to be tough. There's a beat, a Tidal Blast, and a Pulse Bomb from Mimone they have to fend off.
And then there's the aggression to push so much more forward. You gotta step into the mines, or I guess use all your cooldowns if you're the hazard to actually leap over them. But then you're just that public enemy number one.
Yeah, Astro couldn't even leap out there if he tried. Ended up getting knocked down, but before he hit the floor, he was already eliminated. Bot a couple of meters now away from that final point on the map. A sound barrier to end it all, potentially. Cinnabar and Ryan dead, and there it is. Geekay with a full cap on Esperanza will end off the series 3-0, and that'll be a 1-0 start for the squad as well here in Stage 3.
I think this is the result we would have expected, and for GK, I'm really wondering if they're feeling happy about this performance as well. They probably were also expecting that 3-0. Geez, Kappa only died once. That's crazy.
I mean, that is a wrecking ball moment, I suppose, but yeah,
so
still.
True.
One death is absurdly low.
Yeah.
For an 8-minute game, that was as well.
I know. But yeah, definitely congratulations to GK. Team Z, gotta chalk this one up as a learning experience, and especially when that's your first opponent of the stage. you're getting it out of the way, and then hopefully
Yeah.
with these next couple of days before next week, you can keep working on that team synergy after coming together so not so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, the next opponent is SSG, so maybe some more learning will be done next
Losing
week.
is
I don't know.
learning. Was that the phrase?
I'm learning
is
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is not an awful lot to take away, honestly, from this series, since it was a rather one-sided affair. In fact, I gotta be real with you, I didn't even get to see anything of map 1 because I went to get water, and when I came back...
You were like, wait, this isn't control.
It was actually so fast. Yeah, Lee Jung was an absolute blowout. Like, that was over in a blink of an eye. Interesting to see a lethal on that Sombra. I don't think we're going to see that much more Sombra. But yeah, Reaper, you talked about that as well, Jack. We're seeing a surprising amount of Reaper being played thus far in this first week.
I thought it would be a lot of Tracer Genji, like kind of even with like something like a Venture. But yeah, if you look at it at the face of things, like, well, if we're going to play ball with the dive, something like a Winston, Reaper fits perfectly in there. The classic Winston counter in the guy with the 2 shotguns that shoots very fast. Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be good for a lot of the hit scan players that don't necessarily flex to a flex DPS like a Genji. So yeah, I think it's great. It's fun to see Reaper as well with the Tidal Blast. It feels like Reaper evolved almost with the Beyblade, just a little cherry on top that you get a knockdown as well. Yeah, it's been good, but unfortunately, if you are running into a team with a very, very good... Oh, it's Kuffer in the place of Rose. What's up, man?
Just like a surprise Kappa. Hello.
Man, Rose has disappeared into the ether. We've got Kuffer now.
Can we just...
What's up?
No, I evolved.
I was about to say, Necker, now you got to do a Kappa voiceover. How about that?
Your
Some
best Kuffer
sick lip
impression.
syncing. Exactly.
I could never be
Yeah. I
as
think I
cool
would
as
nail it.
him, so I don't even want to
That's-
try that.
Can't be as
why
good as
you guys
Ball on
can
him,
just
that's for
combine
sure.
your powers. Oh, there it is.
There he
I
is.
guess we're doing an interview now. Let's chat to Kappa. Kappa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello,
It's great to see you again. I want to chat a little bit about the mindset from you and the team heading into this, because mid-season championship ended with a bit of a heartbreaking 3-2 against Falcons that sent you home. What did you take away from that event heading into stage 3?
Honestly, I think it was like a pretty good experience. Obviously, we wanted to win that Falcons game, but it shows that we can compete with the best in the world. So, we'll just take stage 3 as like, a bit of practice for the international stage, because, NA is not really our focus. Our focus is to compete with the best, and the best is outside of NA. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, then, who do you think is the best team outside of NA right now? Do you think EU are going to be able to match this like Wrecking Ball, Winston like dive? They've been playing a little bit of sim, or do you think Korea is still at the very top?
I think like a good ball team will just like dismantle EU, like Crazy Riku and T1, like they're just gonna run them. Hopefully the meta changes for them come the international LAN, but yeah, right now I don't think they're gonna be able to compete playing those comps.
So then what do you feel like is going to be the key to success for you and your team, especially if you want to go toe-to-toe with those Wrecking Ball teams from Korea? So what are you guys kind of doing in order to prepare for that?
I think just like ironing out our hero pools a bit. I'm trying to get a bit more ball under my belt, play a bit more different comps. Like I think we're really good at what we play, but we need to branch out if we want to compete against them.
Do you enjoy it?
We'll just...
Do you enjoy playing ball? Because it
it's so
seems
fun.
like a hero that is made for you somehow.
You just roll around, you just have a good time. You just gotta like annoy them. You don't really have to do much as long as you're making it annoying for their team. Let your DPS carry, really.
Sorry, you're just a distraction on the field. Well, Kaffa,
Basically.
you guys graced us with a very convincing victory in your opening match this stage. We hope to see much more of that. Thank you so much for joining us for a quick chat, and best of luck in your upcoming matches.
Thank you very much. See ya.